Hi, this is Owen Reitzel, and this is my time in sports writing. I began my time as a sports writer, or what they normally call a stringer, back in 1991 when the Mitchell Daily Republic hired me to take scores from local games, football, basketball, and write very short stories for them. After a couple of years, I was able to begin covering high school games. The person who hired me was the sports editor then, was Corey Wenzel, who is now the Daily Republic publisher. After a few years there, he let me do an interview, and my first interview was with Jerry Schemmel. He was a Madison native. He graduated a couple of years after I did from high school, and at that time he was the play-by-play announcer for the Denver Nuggets NBA basketball team. And Jerry was also a survivor of Flight 232 that crashed in Sioux City, and I was able to interview him mostly about being a play-by-play announcer, but I did get a chance to interview him a little bit on his experience on Flight 232. Over the years, a lot of sports writers they might get to interview a pro player, but there's very few, I would guess, that get to interview somebody from their hometown. I've been blessed twice. First was Mike Miller. I was able to cover him for a few games when he was a junior in high school. Back in 1996, I believe. I got to cover him some at the Corn Palace. I got to interview him quite a bit. And for me, it was a big thrill after interviewing him and following his career to Florida and then into the NBA with the various teams that he has played on, and up to even last year when he played for the Miami Heat, who won the NBA championship. And again, I mentioned I was blessed not once but twice. The second time was with Mount Vernon native Chad Greenway, who is now an all-pro football player with, of course, my favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings. He's a very good guy, and again, not only once but twice I've been blessed with being able to interview somebody who was either from Mitchell or a very close area town. One thing with sports at this level is you can't just be an expert in one. You've got to be knowledgeable in many sports, and of course I enjoy sports, so that's no problem. Anywhere from the fall football, going through the year covering games, all the way through the playoffs and championship games, and that flows into basketball, boys and girls, where you get to cover games, whether at the high school or the college level. And this year, I was also able to cover my first volleyball match. After all these years, I covered a volleyball match between Mitchell and Huron. And even though, I'll be honest with you, I was skeptical when I first went, they kind of made a believer out of me. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. And again, that's something that a sports writer needs to do, is have a little bit of flexibility. There are certain high school sports I haven't covered yet, such as gymnastics. I haven't covered wrestling, which hopefully someday I might get that opportunity. One big advantage for a sports writer, of course, is you get the best seat in the house. This clip below is from a recent Dakota Wesleyan men's basketball game. And as you can tell from where I'd taken this video, it is literally the best seat in the house. You get to hear the action up close. You get to hear both coaches. Things that you possibly can't hear from the stands that you can hear down there. And the amazing thing is, not only do I get the best seat in the house, I get paid for being at the Corn Palace and sitting in the best seat in the house. Probably the biggest enemy for a sports writer is the deadline. If you're out, in my case, I've been covering either football games, which tend to run late, or late basketball games, when you get back and you know it's coming, you've got a very short time, a short window to write your story and get it done. And even though it's not like being like an emergency room doctor, the pressure is pretty intense when you come walking in and you're told you've got 15 minutes to write a story. And believe me, it gets the adrenaline flowing. And I wouldn't say it's a rush, but it is. There is pressure, and once you're done, it's almost like going to the dentist. It's a great feeling when you're done. You're done. Sports writing has been fun and fulfilling for me. I'm hoping to continue to do it for many years to come yet. And one thing with sports writing, you can go back to the earliest days of sports writing where they had the old typewriter to now where you've got the advent of the computers, TV, specific channels. The toys have changed, but sports writing has not. I think for me, my personal goal is to try and make it so people can read a story and enjoy reading it. The thing I try to make is to make sure that it's about the performers, not about me, and try to write a good story so people can enjoy it. Thank you very much for watching this little PowerPoint. Thank you.